The last time I listened to this song, I bawled my eyes out, so this should be a fun one to cover. Steven Wilson's music has a special place in my heart. Porcupine Tree was one of the first bands that I really fell in love with, and they were my go-to band when I wanted something more serious. Dream Theater and Symphony X offered the cool shreddy stuff that I wanted to learn how to play, but Porcupine Tree and Steven Wilson often hit me on a more emotional level. And no Steven Wilson song hits harder than The Raven That Refused to Sing. The lyrical content and the music paired together is the ultimate example of Steven Wilson being the master of sad music. And I love myself a good sad song sometimes. I was trying to figure out exactly why this song really connected with me. And I think the subject matter of dealing with loss and facing your mortality are of course things we all face in life. But what is it from a musical perspective that makes this so powerful? And to me, the most important thing here are the chords and chord progressions and the way that those interact with the melodies. So I'm going to talk about some music theory here, which I know Steven Wilson doesn't really care about that much, but I think it will illuminate some of the things that I feel when I'm listening to this song. There are really only two chord progressions that make up this entire song, except for one section in the middle of the song, which I'll talk about later. But the first progression looks like this. This progression happens throughout the whole song, in the intro, verses, and even in the climactic ending of the song. And there are a few small variations throughout, but the core progression is this: A flat, A minor, F5 over C, C minor, and A flat, A minor, F5 over C, C major. Rhythmically, the first three chords are all one quarter note long, and the C minor and C major last four quarter notes. This could be written as 3/4 and 4/4, or as a bar of 7/4, doesn't really matter. But this odd rhythm does add a little of that unsettled feel to this song. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Harmonically, this is rooted on C, and not C major or C minor, just the note C. That's our home base. And this is a perfect example of parallel minor and major keys. Parallel meaning keys that share the same root note, in this case C minor and C major. The A flat major chord comes from C minor, the A minor chord comes from C major, and the F5, because it has no third, it's just a root and a fifth, could come from either C major or C minor. And from here, it resolves to C minor the first time, and C major the second time.
Sister, I lost you when you were still a child, but I lead you.
This is one of the clearest examples of the difference between minor and major chords that I've ever come across. When the progression resolves to C minor, it sounds really dark and sad, and when it resolves to C major, it feels more hopeful and uplifting. And I think this back and forth between C minor and C major really captures the mood of the old man character that we're following through this song. And this is just a theoretical explanation of the chords, and songs like this really do transcend nerdy theory analysis, but I think this major-minor pull was very much on purpose here. Look at the opening chord that the strings play that start off the song. It's C, E flat, and E natural, so you have the minor third E flat from C minor, and the major third E from C major played at the same time. really dissonant, but this is foreshadowing that minor and major dichotomy here. I mentioned a few variations to this progression, and those are mostly happening in the bass. At 1 minute and 58 seconds, the bass goes A flat, A, B flat, C. That makes this F5 and F5 over B flat, or a B flat, add 9, no third. Doesn't really matter. It's just an example of the bass changing the character of the progression.
And I lead out from a light.
At 3 minutes and 37 seconds, the bass plays an E on the C major chord, which makes it a C over E, or a first inversion C major chord, with a third in the bass. There's also quite a few times, especially later in the song, where on the F5 chord, the bass is actually playing F instead of C like in the intro. So in that case, you get a progression that's... And that E really highlights the major third of that chord. When the higher piano and guitar enter at 2 minutes and 37 seconds, that changes these chords a little as well. It's adding some extensions to the chords through this melody. So you get the flat 7, G on the A minor, and a B flat on top of the F. So you'd have A flat, A minor 7, F suspended, and then to C.
Just because I'm weak.
And these are all just simple variations on the main progression, but they help add some variety, which is nice because this progression plays for a good majority of the song without any other chord progressions happening. Speaking of other progressions, there is this little interlude at 2 minutes and 16 seconds. It's B flat sus, A minor, A flat major, and then F major. And then a variation of that in the second half. It's like F minor 7, F minor 9. You have inverted chords, A minor over E, and then A flat over E flat, and then to F. This is the same sort of deal as the main progression where you're kind of mixing C minor and C major sounds. And the melody adds quite a bit here. This melody is similar to the final climactic melody of the song with maybe a slightly darker feel. This melody and the final melody. So a similar contour, but this one's maybe a little bit darker. Now let's take a look at this final chord progression. This is pretty simple at its core. It's B flat major, F major, A minor, B flat major. And this progression trades with the second half of the first progression. It's just back and forth between those two for the whole ending of the song. In this final progression, I'm still thinking of it as being in C. Even though there's no C chord played, that B flat chord is borrowed from C minor. There is one variation of this progression at 4 minutes and 44 seconds where the last B flat chord is replaced by G minor. It's mostly happening in the bass guitar, but it is there. Just one simple variation. Once again, with this progression, the melody is where a lot of the color is coming from. It starts on an E, which is the sharp 4 of B flat, which is like a B flat sharp 4 chord, I guess. And then F plays the root note, and then the flat 7 of A minor, G, and then the 9th of B flat, C. All these beautiful extensions that make this sound so good. There's an instrumental melody over this progression that mirrors the vocal melody. And these two melodies together are just perfect. Sometimes they're moving in opposite directions, sometimes they're moving together, but it's really genius melodic interplay. So really this whole song is just these two chord progressions, and one of the things that I love about Steven Wilson's music is often the simplicity of it and his ability to get a lot out of these simple ideas. And a lot of this song is actually the arrangement of it too, which I didn't even cover here, but the strings and guitar and piano and how all the instruments are slowly entering and how it's building dynamically, all of that is adding to the simple ideas here. The combination of the chords and melodies and arrangement and how they enhance the lyrics are what make this song so good. If I had to pick one song to make me cry, I think this would be at the top of my list. It's a really special piece of music. So there's all the chords from The Raven That Refused to Sing. What are some songs that really move you? Please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe, hit the bell notification, like, comment, share. Till next time, stay proggy.